Coming up, an organization on campus is trying to make UTRGV a sanctuary school. We will tell you how and why in minutes. Plus, an executive order dismantled the Department of Education. How are federal-funded programs going to be affected? And the UTRGV baseball team reaches a new milestone for the season. This and more later on KVAQ Sports with Desiree Villanueva. KVAQ-TV starts now. Good morning, vaqueros. My name is Perla Cortez, and this is the 11th spring edition of KVAQ-TV. Today is Monday, April 7th, and at the top of the newscast. A student organization petition is asking for support for UTRGV to become a sanctuary for students, which followed with a rally last week. But is this call to stop immigration officials entering school legal? Multimedia journalist Victor Ortega with the details.
Right behind me is the place where the Rio Grande Valley Youth Democratic Socialists of America members were advocating to protect college campuses from immigration and customs enforcement intimidation. KVAQ-TV spoke with RGBYDSA President Jacob Becho to learn more about the group's petition alongside the rally.
We stand, we fight. We will not put up with ICE. We will not put up with ICE.
Basically, he's deporting everyone and everything, everyone and anything. And we think that's a very horrible response to what's going on and the plight of a lot of migrants in this country.
According to an Instagram post, the organization states the increase in detainment of non-citizen students by ICE is the reason for their current movement. Flyers are all around both campuses, asking students to sign a petition for the university to become a sanctuary school, which means the university will not cooperate with immigration officials. Last Thursday, the organization took to the Edinburgh Library courtyard to rally for immigration rights.
Our petition is basically asking the university to do non-cooperation with immigration law enforcement and basically to inform students whenever ICE might be on campus.
If the petition gets enough signatures, the group aims to present it to the Dean of Students, Ismael Amaya. A Senate bill passed in 2017 by the Texas legislature poses a major issue for the YDSA petition, as political science assistant professor Alvaro Corral explains.
Local cooperation with federal officials has already sort of been settled by the state of Texas in a previous legislative session, where the state legislature passed the law mandating cooperation by local officials, or in other words, prohibiting the lack of cooperation by local entities. Right?
KVAQ-TV informed Becho of the bill, to which he replied that the student organization has legal advisors working with them. In an Instagram post promoting its petition, RGBYDSA highlights ICE's detainment on March 9 of Columbia University alumni Mahmoud Khalil, a green card holder. According to a Truth Social post from U.S. President Donald J. Trump, Khalil was arrested for engaging in a pro-Palestinian protest last year. Trump added that this is the first of many arrests to come. When asked if non-citizen students should be worried for expressing their political opinions, Corral answered the following.
My answer, based on recent actions taken by the Trump administration and Marco Rubio's Secretary the State Department, is yes, they should be concerned, because it does appear that this administration is setting a precedent for very much looking into student speech, student political speech, and making immigration decisions based on that speech that they deem as threatening to U.S. national security.
Some students agree with the message and mission of the RGBYDSA, like integrated health sciences major Caitlin Moya.
I really like the chants, and a lot of it is true and strongly aligns with what I think as well, just about how there's so much hate in being able to deport Mexican Americans.
Other students question the group's goal of stopping ICE entering campus and its effectiveness, like visual design major Raul Martinez.
The only problem is, how do you stop them before they get close to any of our students? Because it's a massive force. They've got the power to handcuff you and stuff like that. So stopping the inevitable is I'm not going to say impossible. It can, but you will be detained along with the guy that's being detained. So.
RGBYDSA plans to host another event on campus on May 1st. More details will be released later this month. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Victor Ortega.
U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. to quote-unquote return authority over education to the states and local communities. Can this action jeopardize FAFSA or Pell Grants, and can the transfer of control be bad for those in education? To avoid the process of Congress to remove the Department of Education, President Trump's executive order forces it to remove its responsibilities. This means the department will no longer handle student loans and will transfer its duties to another organization. In a White House news release, it states President Trump wants to dismantle the department to give authority of education to the states. With the dismantling, he intends to abolish diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, remove gender ideology, and stop the lack of improvement from students' education achievements that has cost the department over $3 trillion. The Department of Education also handles federal student aid and Pell Grants, although this action will still be handled by the U.S. government through a different organization. Political science professor Clive Barrow says this action could cause bigger issues.
What has happened is that their proposal is to move the grants and loan program to the Small Business Association. So theoretically, it will continue, but you're moving it to an agency that has no experience with student loans or with higher education. They're not familiar with any of the laws or policies that govern those programs.
Barrow adds that because the government wants to devolve education to the states, it will create inconsistencies because each state has different values and policies. Two students at UTRGV shared contrasting opinions about Trump signing the executive order. Anthropology senior Bex Herrera says that the decision will cause harm to communities and create financial worries for students.
Many students are worried about the loans and how they're being affected and the grants that are being affected right now, and also just how the Department of Education just holds a lot of importance in our education systems. It just takes away from one of our biggest resources that we have as students here.
However, graphic design junior Jacob Jaramillo says he agrees with the president on transferring more power to the states.
I think that's a good idea, just due to the fact that, states have more of that, freedom, to kind of do their own thing instead of following what the government, might be trying to impose. I think states should have more, free will. I mean, we already do, but, in more areas.
KVAQ-TV contacted 3 UTRGV programs funded by the Department of Education that help students at the university, such as Gear Up, Upward Bound, and CAMP, that could potentially be affected by the executive order. Audrey responded that they are monitoring the activity in Washington and there is no current changes that will affect the programs and will continue to provide support towards students. UTRGV Vice President of Marketing and Communications Patrick Gonzalez also responded, stating, and I quote, "We have not been informed of any plans to eliminate Pell Grants. If anything changes in the future, we will communicate directly to keep students informed." The Department of Education has initiated forced work reduction to 50% of employees, leaving many on administrative leave as for mid-March to comply with Trump's order and ensure resources are given back to students, teachers, and parents. Although it will be dismantled, funding for students and higher education, public schools, and special needs will still be able to receive financial aid through a different organization or agency. Students are the priority of a new initiative headed by the City of Brownsville and UTRGV. Multimedia journalist Jasmine Espinosa with the story.
According to a university official, Task Force of the Future is coming together to grow educational programs and reduce travel time from Brownsville to Edinburg.
It's a joint partnership between UTRGV and the City of Brownsville.
Gonzalez says expanding academic offerings will not happen right away, but students can expect to see a difference in the spring of 2026. According to the Memorandum of Understanding, the task force members will hold monthly meetings to discuss programs, issues, and future plans.
The purpose is simple. It's to enhance the experience of our students who spend most of their time on the Brownsville campus. We have made tremendous strides in student success across the region with UTRGV. As we approach our 10th year anniversary.
One of the head of task force is District 38 Representative Erin Games. In an email sent to KVAQ-TV, Games states she is pleased in assisting and supporting UTRGV in holding commencement ceremonies on the Brownsville campus each semester. She says she is pleased that the memorandum will ensure the university will work towards equitably allocating the primary facilities amongst the counties. According to a document shared by Games, UTRGV has invested $102 million to the Edinburgh campus compared to the Brownsville campus over the last 10 years. Nutritional science junior Mia Munoz says she does not like going to the Edinburgh campus early in the morning for classes. If classes were offered in Brownsville, she would choose to stay in the area.
Usually I don't like going to Edinburgh because just the bus, like let's say I like morning classes, so I choose classes like at 8:30 a.m. So I would have to take a really, really early bus. So I would say if you want morning classes and you just don't want to have to travel so early for like an hour and a half bus ride, then I'd say that it was good to get more classes here in Brownsville.
Nutritional science junior Cristina Vela says traveling from Edinburgh to Brownsville is far, but she finds the Brownsville campus interesting to see.
I would honestly feel tired if I was the one having to drive myself to and back, just because driving can be tiring, especially going so far, being in traffic. But if I could mix in an option, like maybe to drive myself and then maybe take the bus, like I feel like it can definitely work because the campus over there is really pretty.
The task force is expected to meet later in April to continue their monthly meetings. For KVAQ-TV in Brownsville, Jasmine Espinosa.
After the severe weather, UTRGV maintenance staff worked tirelessly to get campus reopened. A UTRGV website shows procedures for the campus community if a similar situation happens again. Here's our multimedia journalist, Miguel Gonzalez, with more of the aftermath of the storm.
Tornado alerts, heavy rain, lightning and thunderstorms, strong winds and flooding alerts were some of the events we're witnesses of on March 27th. Vice President for University Marketing and Communications, Patrick Gonzalez, says the university is asking the campus community members to report any damaged property. Gonzalez says users can fill an individual State of Texas assessment tool survey, which is a way for the Texas Department of Emergency Management Services to assess citizen needs. After the survey is filled, the department will work with local organizations to fulfill the request of the citizens for any necessary repairs.
That's what we can do now after the event to help ensure that our students are remain safe and remain well. We have informed our faculty, we have informed our supervisors that if there's a student or even an employee who, let's say, for example, is without a home because of flooding, we are working with them to make sure that they continue their studies or continue their work, but also giving them time to take care of their personal situation.
Gonzalez explains the university only saw fallen trees, but no major damages were reported. He says UTRGV had maintenance supervising every building, fixing and derooting trees that had fallen over, as well as cleaning up debris. Gonzalez states facilities employees were pumping out water out of the parking lots and baseball stadiums shortly after the storm.
Again, there were also very little power outages throughout this time, which is also good. But I don't want the work of our employees that helped get UTRGV reopened on Saturday. I don't want that to go unnoticed.
According to Gonzalez, the Ready UTRGV website is a joint effort between the Office of Emergency Management and the Office of University Marketing and Communications. The website aims to provide resources on how to handle emergency situations, including thunderstorms, active shooters, mental health, and more.
So we came up with the platform or the name Ready UTRGV. So we want people to read that and think, okay, this is how I get ready for an emergency situation. This is how I prepare. And so if you go to the website, you will see different emergency scenarios that are addressed and information about what you can do before that situation, what you can do during that situation, and what you can do after that situation.
The Ready UTRGV website recommends finding safe shelter for individuals to stay off bridges over fast-moving water. The website also states not to walk, swim, or dive through floodwaters. 6 inches of moving water is enough to knock you down, while 1 foot of moving water can sweep your vehicle away. Depending on the type of flooding, evacuate if advised to do so. Move to a higher ground or a higher floor. Gonzalez says the website is available to all campus community. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Miguel Gonzalez.
Last Thursday, the Student Government Association held its executive ticket forum on the Plains Capital Bank Theater. All 3 candidates were able to share with students about the platform and respond to questions. The SGA election starts today. You can find the ballot on your UTRGV email. The last day to vote is Thursday, and the results will be available on Friday. UTRGV Track and Field finished its Bobcat Invitational, earning one member of the team a new UTRGV record, and the Vaqueros baseball team surpassed a season milestone. That and more in KVAQ Sports with Desiree Villanueva.
UTRGV's outdoor track and field teams made their mark at the Bobcat Invitational, securing 3 top 10 finishes on day 2 of the competition. Let's take a look at the standout performances. Junior Nayla Harris set a new UTRGV outdoor track and field program record in the women's 100-meter dash March 28 as the Vaqueros concluded the Bobcat Invitational at the Texas State Track and Field Complex. Harris secured 4th place in the event, clocking in at 11.37 seconds to set a new UTRGV record and break into the nation's top 20 with a personal best. Freshman Giselle Davis finished 20th with the time of 11.89 seconds. Men's track and field junior Aaron Cooper and sophomore Hebrew Hunter advanced to the finals in the men's triple jump. Cooper secured 5th place with a 15.35 meter mark, earning the number 4th spot in UTRGV's outdoor program record books. UTRGV wrapped up the 3-day meet with 13 personal bests and 11 entries in the outdoor record books, including 1 program record. The Vaqueros will compete at the Cactus Cup in Kingsville on April 12. Now on to baseball. UTRGV Baseball has surpassed 20 season wins after its match against Rice University April 2nd. Athletics announced last Monday that graduate student pitcher Angelo Cabral is the Killers Golf UTRGV Student Athlete of the Week. Cabral led the way in Game 1 of Saturday's doubleheader against Texas A&M Corpus Christi, marking the first South Texas showdown since UTRGV joined the Southland Conference. The Vaqueros continue on the road against the University of Louisiana Tuesday, April 8th in Lafayette, Louisiana. Switching on over to the soccer field, the women's soccer team started their spring schedule 2 weeks ago. The UTRGV women's soccer team has released its spring schedule with a total of 4 games on the slate. The Vaqueros competed in their first match March 29th against Texas A&M International University 0-1. As practice continues and spring training goes on, KVAQ-TV spoke with student sophomore goalkeeper Emilia Compian on these upcoming games.
Compared to last season and last spring, I think our girls are really stepping up into the role. We're hitting hard in the weight room. We're really focused on building team chemistry for us to build on for the fall. Focusing on kind of just where our style of play, what kind of positions people are going to be playing, and then also too building a foundation that where our new commits can come in and they could learn to play a part in something that's not scattered all over the place, but we have as a uniform together and kind of believing in our goal to get to where we want in the fall.
Next, the Vaqueros play against Texas Southmost College April 12th in Brownsville and April 26th against Our Lady of the Lake at home. That's all for this week's sports edition of KVAQ Sports. I'm Desiree Villanueva. Back to you, Pearl.
Stay safe and thank you for joining us, Vaqueros. Watch us on VCast monitors and social media. Once again, I'm Perla Cortez, and this is KVAQ-TV, your campus, your news.